So Candice Owens decided that she would totally wreck AH, calling out her Instagram statement saying this was an attempt to gaslight the public that knew what she did, and she needs to apologize. Now, it's amazing to hear this too, because everyone, and I do mean everyone, has been calling out AH. You and I, we're going to tune in this today. Fun times, huh? Fun times indeed. All right, so hey there to all you fine folks on this fine day. By the way, I hope you are doing excellently. So for roughly 4 minutes, Candice Owens reads AH's account on Instagram. You know, her statement that she put out. Then she decides she's going to go off on her. I mean, listen to this. This is right after she's finished reading it.
That is Amber Heard gaslighting us all.
There you go, right there. I mean, that statement, that's her gaslighting us. It's making demands of us. It's saying you must listen, you must believe, gaslighting us all. Continuing.
That is what it is. That statement is a very powerful statement if it were true. If Amber Heard was a victim of her own testimony, if Amber Heard, we did not watch her get caught in lie after lie after lie. If we had not heard Amber Heard, in her own words, threatening Johnny Depp on camera. We heard Amber Heard's voice as after hitting him, she said to him, no one's going to believe you. Oh, what are you going to do? You're a big guy. They're not going to believe you. No one's going to believe you. I didn't punch you. I hit you with an open hand.
Well, and that's the problem there. You know, when you go through the written word doesn't give you everything. I mean, it conveys something, but it conveys the message that the person that's writing it out, they really want to tell. When you see them on the stand, though, well, you got to see other things, too. You got to see the whole story come out. You got to see the lack of evidence. You got to see how, in real time, stories would change. Oh, there's a bottle. I just saw a picture. There's no bottle anymore. I mean, again, change after change after change.
As I said, at a bare minimum, you'd have to at least acknowledge that she was equally as violent to Johnny Depp as he was to her.
Now, listen to the whole statement here. There have been people that have clipped this, and they're saying, look at what she's saying there. You know, she's saying, hey, he was too. Now, that's not what she's saying. She's saying at bare minimum, if somebody were to read this thing, they would have to acknowledge that she is a guilty party. But Candice Owens here is saying, you know what? There's a lot more to it. Listen to what she has to say.
My personal opinion is that she was more violent. I believe that Johnny Depp fell in love with her because she was beautiful and he allowed her to abuse her. And I believe that his entire history with women, I mean, again, lie after lie. Remember, she told us that she had heard that he threw Kate Moss down the stairs. Every person that testified said he was amazing. But I guess he became a violent individual just with her. I will not be gaslit by Amber Heard. Amber Heard is a violent person. I also now believe that Amber Heard is a mentally ill person. But Amber Heard knows that there is an audience out there that believe women, no matter what, no matter the astounding. Don't even believe your own eyes. You saw the trial. Don't believe your own eyes. Don't believe your own ears. Simply believe women. And she is telling you that she's admitting nothing. If it's the court system that's broken, it's America that is the problem.
And there you have it right there. You know, you're going to have somebody else that is always to blame. And that's always been the case. If it wasn't JD, it was lawyers like Adam Waldman. If it wasn't the lawyers, it was some kind of witness. They weren't to be believed. Even people that were surrounding her, well, they didn't get it right. Then it was the jury. Then it was the stenographer. It was YouTubers. I mean, everyone else but that person in the mirror. But still, there are people that will buy into it. Why do they buy into it? Well, that's a fascinating question, right?
If only she had been in the United Kingdom, things would have been better. But America has a fallen legal system. And that's the only reason she lost. Not because we caught her in lie after lie after lie, right?
Well, that's the thing, too. I mean, when you catch somebody lying and lying and lying, the majority of people are not going to come clean about that. They're going to double and triple down. And unfortunately, in this situation, you have an entire social structure dedicated to just believing. Believing even if the evidence doesn't back that up, right?
And of course, both of her and Johnny Depp's, their lives will never be the same. It really was a case in which, by the way, Johnny Depp was the victim for years.
Exactly. I mean, this guy, not only it wasn't just the years. She's going to talk about the media there, but it wasn't just the media portion. You have to remember that there were years before all of this takes place. You know, the years that you're talking about live behind the scenes. He dealt with that. You got to hear the stories. You got to see the evidence. Missing finger. You saw what happened with a cigarette in a face. I mean, you saw the evidence, and yet, well, you're going to have the re-victimization, which is what she's talking about here.
The media believed only her version of events. The media saw nothing of the mounting evidence that Johnny Depp had proving that she was abusive toward him. And Johnny Depp was the person that was silenced, but she doesn't care because she's a woman, and me being a woman means never having to say you're sorry.
Now, personally, I believe that it's much, much worse than Candice Owens notes here, because you have to remember the aftermath. I mean, we have been charting the aftermath for 6 months now. And when you look at the media, you look at what they did, they went in and they defended AH from day one. So you had the decision come in that very day. They talked about how that decision, it was chilling for other people. How this was an atrocity. It was such a terrible thing. Again, when presented with evidence, they went with feelings over facts. They do this again and again and again. Now, I'm going to skip forward somewhat because she talks about another case, but she makes a good point here. She says, somebody had levied false allegations against someone. This stuff went to the court level, and guess what happened there? Yeah, it ended up getting called out, lies exposed, this stuff dropped, but there was no accountability. And that's how she ends. I mean, listen to what she has to say here.
And there seems to be no accountability. Women can just throw out allegations. They can say whatever they want. The entire media will get on their side. The entire ecosystem of Hollywood will get on their side. But when they start to backtrack, when you start to recognize that a woman is lying, then there's silence. And that bothers me. That bothers me for a lot of.
Now, that should bother everyone, too. If somebody is caught in this, then there should be accountability. And that's why these last 6 months have been fascinating. Not because this is a continuation of the trial, but because this is its own thing. It shows you the rise of someone's career again, what they've had to do to get it to that point, and how the person that did this to them, they don't have to ever go away. In fact, they're going to write a book. They're going to go out on speaking tours. Who knows what they're going to do? But the one thing they never have to look at or engage is accountability.